guys, this is Ocean. This is going to be our weekly pick a card, pick a pile, pick a glitter, in this case, video. There's a lot of conversation in the community around, deck collections and feeling a certain type of way about that. And when I was thinking about what sort of a reading I should do today, I checked Pinterest for spreads, which I often do. There are really good spreads there, and I found one that's called Tarot Spread for When You Feel Something is Missing by Emerald Lotus Divination. If I can find the original source, then I will link it in the description, but if not, if you look for Emerald Lotus Divination and Tarot Spread for When You Feel Something is Missing, you should be able to find the spread. It's a 5-card spread, and it looks into why we feel that something is missing and what we should do about it. And because, oftentimes when we buy things, we're trying to fill a hole, but even if we try, sometimes we don't see why that is. It's not that easy to see it sometimes. An outsider's perspective could help, and the tarot is the best outsider for that. So you will have 3 options, which I'm going to show you. The first one is, if you want to choose a deck, then we have the Tarot Mermaid from Lisa Robertson with this kind of an artwork, and the glitter in greenish. Like, look at that, it's beautiful. Hope it's focusing enough to see the glitter, or the number 49. The second one is the Llewellyn. It's a trimmed copy. But this is the type of artwork. It's watercolor, and these are the backs, and you have a coppery kind of glitter with the number 5. Okay. I feel like I'm pulling some bingo. And the third pile is a new one, and it's called Magical Tarot, and the artwork is like this, and the backs are really cool like that, and your glitter is the number 13 with the pink one. So if you need some time, just watch back the pile selection, but here are the 3 glitters. Pile number 1 with the greenish, pile number 2 with the copperish, and pile number 3 with the pinkish. So once you manage to choose, click on the timestamp in the description and see me in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose this green glitter or the number 49 or the deck, the Tarot of the Mermaid Tarot, then this is your reading. So for the first position, which is the what is missing from my life, we have the Hierophant, which is quite an interesting one because it could indicate more, so we will see how the other cards are interacting with it. But what I was thinking about is some sort of knowledge, but not just you're lacking textbook knowledge and you should go and read about it. It could be that as well, but the Hierophant, I always read it as a teacher, so there might be that what you're missing in your life currently is some sort of guidance, some sort of a teacher that you could learn from. It doesn't have to be spiritual. Obviously, we are doing a tarot reading, so that's always an option. It could be because I don't know what you're thinking about when you heard about the question. It could be something that relates to what you're doing in the 3D world, your job, your hobbies, what your passions, what you're trying to create. There might be something that is missing, and you need to find a teacher for it. Sometimes a teacher is not a person, though. Definitely, if you have someone in mind and you have some access to someone that that you can learn from, go ahead and try to do that. But sometimes we don't live in an area or in a country, or it's just it's not an option to actually seek out teachers, not even online. but books are your friends. So whatever you're trying to get, what you feel that is missing, you need to learn more about it, and books can be a great help. And sorry, but there are people outside, so if you hear something, then sorry about that. The second position is why I'm feeling like I don't have enough of it. Interesting. Whatever we're feeling, what is missing. So this knowledge, this spiritual teacher is, we have the Emperor for this position, for the why I'm feeling like I don't have enough in it. And this could mean two things: that there is someone in your life that is kind of blocking you from accessing that knowledge or leader. But it also could be that you're a bit like the Emperor, you're a bit too rigid in your ways, you're too set in your ways already, and you feel like you can't change because it would require a lot of effort. So in that sense, it could be you who's stopping yourself from gaining this new knowledge, because you think that whatever this is all about, you would need to change too much, and you're like, that's not worth it. But you're clearly missing it. So, and it's a big energy, because the Hierophant and the Emperor are both major arcana, so these are not small issues in your life. The third position is how this affects my energy. The previous two cards, and more so I think is the why I'm feeling I don't have enough of it. How this affects my energy. Interesting. We have the Queen of Wands. We went from the Emperor, which is the king of kings, to a queen, and the creative one, in fact. But a Queen of Wands sometimes is someone, or when we feel like we're not emotionally regulated is not a good word, but when we feel like our emotions are just spreading like fire, our moods are all over the place. So how this affects your energy? Sometimes you might feel like you can't control what's happening in your life, because it's like fire or lava. It's just pouring everywhere and burns whatever, and you can't stop it. Which is a very interesting contrast to the Emperor, who's a very rigid person. So maybe the other side of it is that once you gain that knowledge, you're actually not losing what you already built up, but you're gaining that self-control that currently you're missing, because you're too if I say too emotional, I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean it that you don't necessarily know how to express your emotions or your feelings in a way that is good for you. We're not going down the you're too emotional road, don't worry about that. The fourth position is the how I can feel satisfied about it. And interestingly, we have the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is loss, and how you can be comfortable, or what was the word, satisfied with what you're missing, is actually accepting the loss, that whatever is missing in your life, not all of them or not all of it might be ever become a part of your life. That's one side. And the other is that change always brings some sort of loss with it, because if you change as a person as well, your core values change, or you change how you, not the core values, but how you express yourself. If you become some sort of a new person, that will bring some loss with it, because some people won't understand what you're changing and why you're changing. And it can be, if it's an object related, like a physical thing that you're missing, like money, for example, then you have to accept the fact that we don't always just gain money. Money is an energy, so that in that sense is a good example because it flows in and it flows out, and that's the natural order. So you have to be okay with the letting go of it, as in not spending mindlessly, but spending it on good things like buying that book, for example, that will help you get a better perspective on whatever you're dealing with. Because that's not an actual loss. It's not loss how you think that, oh, I just paid so much for this thing and now it's I'm lacking the money. Always look how much you gain from something like that, as in how happy you will be, how useful that object you're buying is. And sometimes the usefulness is making you happy. It's not always a groundbreaking new thing. Sometimes it's a box of chocolate that you enjoy in the moment, but you have to know the word and you have to be able to enjoy life as well. So that's what I'm getting from that one. And in the last position we have the where I need to look to find it, whatever you're missing, and we have the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is all about decisions. So what I'm getting from this in this position, where I need to look for to find it is not, ooh, you need to make a decision. It's where and how you make decisions. So how you can, just like the previous example with buying a book, for example, that's good for you in the long run because it teaches you something that you wanted to know, and it teaches you something that you can build into your life. So how you can find what's missing is by making more informed, well-informed decisions. Which is quite interesting, and I like it. And I'm gonna pull two cards, two oracles, as advice for you. We have the Ritual, Magic Power and Action. And we also have the Destruction, releasing your anger, and that can be connected to the Queen of Wands, Sometimes you have to let that go. Sometimes you need to deconstruct yourself or your old self to be able to build up a new one. And the Ritual, Magic, Power, Action. The ritual is why I like this here is after the Two of Swords, because the ritual, if you do a ritual, it always requires preparation. It always requires knowledge about the subject that you're doing the ritual on, and it can be just studying, for example. That's a ritual as well, and it will lead you to take an action, actually. So don't just stop at the Two of Swords, making those informed, well-informed, better informed decisions, but once you did that, take the action with those, make the actual choice and act on them. And then, once you bought that book, for example, you can implement it in your life. So don't just make a decision that I'm gonna get that book. Go get that book and learn from it and use it. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing for you if you chose pile number 1. Hope this was useful. It was very interesting for me, so I hope it was, interesting for you as well. Please do let me know how you like it. Did you resonate with the deck, or did you resonate with the reading, the topic? If you have ideas for a pick a card reading, I'm always happy to hear those. And please like, subscribe, share these videos that I post, because they all help my little tiny channel. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you choose this glitter or the Llewellyn deck, then this is going to be your reading. We have 5 positions for this one. I forgot that I think I said it in the intro, but just in case, the spread is from I find it on Pinterest, but it's from Emerald Lotus Divination, just in case. Okay, so the first position is what is missing from my life, and we have the High Priestess in this deck, which is the green woman. Isn't she beautiful? And what it gives me is intuition. What is missing is trusting your own instincts for some reason. Maybe the confidence in trusting your own intuition, your own decisions, or you know, your gut feeling. That's what's missing. And why I'm feeling like I don't have enough of this, you know, maybe the confidence of trusting yourself. We have the Six of Cups, and the Six of Cups is usually, if it's a positive card, I mean, it's in a positive position, it's all about nostalgia and childhood and thinking about, you know, people you learned from when you were small. But in this case, I kind of feel like that you were brought up or raised in a way that didn't, even if it's not, even if it didn't directly told you that you're not good enough, sometimes you still grew up thinking that you're not good enough and you don't know enough because of the culture that you're coming from. If it's not true, then it's probably not your pile, but I'm definitely seeing some childhood trauma, some childhood influence that you might not have, you might not even be aware of, that, you know, someone when you were growing up, friend, family member, teacher, someone, you know, told you repeatedly that, oh, you don't know enough yet, you're just a child, you don't know anything, you know. Sometimes we say things like that and we don't think about how it will affect that child. It could be something like that. In the next position, we have how this affects my energy, and we have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is feeling lost, feeling defeated, you know, feeling like we're in a hole where we can't get up. So it's all the depression, it's all the feeling sad and lost and not really knowing why. So if you often feel like this, obviously go and seek help, professional help. If you know, if anything like that is happening in your life, please do so. I hope you have access to a good therapist. But one thing that you can do on your own is dig deep into where these conceptions might come from. Or if you're not ready to face that part, try to build up your own confidence. You know, do things like pick card readings can be good for strengthen your intuition, for example, because if you go into watching them and don't watch them necessarily for, oh, I need to hear this and this is the message that I need to, you know, hear and it will change my life. Just go into watching them trying to feel which pile is going to give you something, you know, like, okay, out of the three, this is where I'm getting something, and then watch it and see if you got something out of it, if you feel like that. And after a while, your intuition, you know, will be stronger and you can trust yourself, trust your own gut feelings better. In the how can I feel satisfied about it, we have, I think in this deck this is the Word. It's been a while I read with this deck, but you know what, we're gonna go with the Word because that's what I'm getting. And we have a figure over here, and how I feel, you know, because this is the how I can feel satisfied about this, is opening up to a new way of thinking, because how I read the Word is not just finishing a cycle, but finally understanding how the Word works, finally gaining enough perspective to see that this was the reason why so and so happened. And now that I understand, I can actually do something about it and restart the cycle on a higher level. So what you can do about this is actually learning about yourself and learning why these things are true, because then you can move forward with it and make certain realizations. And the next one is, where do I need to look to find it? We have Judgment. And Judgment, besides being a major arcana, is all about learning that you are who you are because of your past as well, because you went through what you went through, and that added to the person you are today. And the solution is not pretending or discarding the hard learned lessons and the shit you went through, because if you do that, you're just denying what happened. It's not judging yourself in a way, or others, that takes away from the lesson you learned. Because if you don't allow yourself to be imperfect, and you don't allow yourself to learn from mistakes, then you're never gonna advance, so to speak, in life. You're never gonna be a better version of yourself, because if you don't know the shitty version of yourself, you can't learn from mistakes you made. And sometimes we have a tendency to beat ourselves up and be like, oh yeah, I made these horrible mistakes, and I'm never gonna deserve a second chance. And that's just not true. If you put in the work to learn from them, and you show and try to act better, then obviously you deserve it. And that's what's missing from a lot of people. They just think that they just need to make the realization that they acted shitty and not do the work to change. But if you're stopping at that point, you're not actually getting better being as a human being. So if that makes sense. So don't judge too harshly others and yourself. Accept the mistakes you and others made in the past, because you can't change anything about it anyway. And look at the things from a more objective outsider perspective. If you can do that, I think that's gonna be a good way for you to connect to your intuition. And let's pull 2 cards for advice. Oh, we have the Dreamer. I love that. Imagination, desire, and exploration. And we also have the Surrender, let go of the darkness. And how I feel of this one is, letting go of anger and letting go of the unnecessary feelings that you're holding on to, maybe towards other people who wronged you. Because I talked about this in a previous one somewhere. Being angry and hating someone is only hurting you, it's not the other person. You're just energetically connecting yourself to someone who doesn't give a shit about you, probably, because people are self-centered. But the surrender part is sometimes the hardest, because it requires you to be like, okay, I'm not gonna think about what they did to me or what I did to them. I'm gonna think about what is happening in my life currently and what I can learn from the experience only. And the Dreamer, imagination, desire, and exploration, I kind of feel like it connects to the word card, is, don't stop dreaming. I know it sounds cliche. And don't stop believing in yourself, and don't stop believing that there's a better tomorrow, that your current state, which is kind of like this, 10 of Swords, is how things will always be, because things are always in change. The good, the bad, nothing is permanent. Even if it feels like it takes forever, it doesn't. Things will, even itself out, because the balance, what is it called? The scales needs to be balanced. That's not the thing that I wanted to say, but whatever. So, the wheel is constantly turning. This shall pass as well. And then you will reach a new place where you will feel more confident about your own gut feeling, and that will lead you so much better than how you are currently, which is great. So yeah, this was your reading if you chose pile number 2. Hope this was useful. Please like, subscribe, share. Those all help my channel. Comment down below how you resonated with the reading, or if you have any pick a card readings, topic ideas. I like hearing those as well. And see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose this pink glitter or the number 13 or the deck, the medical tarot, then this is going to be your reading. And I have 5 position, and I completely forgot to shuffle the cards like I did for all the rest of the other piles. So you're special. So you know what, let's go with that. The first in the spread, which is by Emerald Lotus Divination, is what is missing from my life. And we have the 8 of Cups. And how, if you look at that weirdo moon, how I read this one is what you're missing from your life is actually the ability or capability of leaving something behind that is no longer serving you. It could be because you're too emotionally heavily invested in whatever is happening, and you think that, this has been going on for too long, the way that I am in this situation, that I can't change. This is what it is, and what am I supposed to do? But why I'm feeling like I don't have enough of it, this lack of being able to move away. Interestingly, we have the 4 of Wands. And the 4 of Wands is all about celebration and connecting to other people. And this could be because whatever we're talking about, whatever is no longer working for you, and the real you're lacking, it's maybe because you're part of a community and you feel like if you let go, whatever we're talking about, people even, you're no longer belong anywhere and you're gonna be alone. And before pulling any other cards, I'm just gonna say that I'm not gonna say who's bullshit, because sometimes we lose, a community, we stop participating in things that they participate in. But if you have actual friends in the community, they don't care. They're gonna just find a new way to connect, with yourself. So that's a good test as well, whether you're in a good community or not. How they reacting to you, and how this affects my energy. We have the Lovers. And the Lovers is not just about love, but it can be self-love. In a reading like this, I would definitely go with it's affecting your self-worth, your self-love, and how you make choices, because you're not making choices for yourself or for your higher good. You're making choices trying to please other people, and not necessarily because they are expecting it. It's more about, you think this is what I'm supposed to do to be accepted. It doesn't have to be conscious. It can be just subconscious. In the tarot community, you might be buying decks because you think that if I don't buy decks and don't post those videos, other people won't care about me and they don't watch my videos. But I think as soon as you start, just in general, posting lives or tags or something where you reveal more about who you are, there will be people connecting to you on a more human level. At least that's what happened to me. And in the how I can feel satisfied about it, we have the 5 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups in this position, it's about that loss that you accept that happened and you move forward from it. And interesting, we had the accepting loss in a similar position in a different pile as well. So, and if it, wait, I'll show you. The first card was the 8 of Cups, moving away from something, and that moving away from something and creating a loss But the last position where I need to find it, we have the Four of Cups, a lot of cups on the table, a lot of emotions. So it's definitely all about your emotional self. Yeah, so the where I need to look to find it is somewhere that you don't expect to find anything like that at all. This is the getting offered something from a place or from someone that you overlooked because you were too focused on what you have currently. And it can be a community, it can be yeah, I would say more about people than objects, because we're not missing the objects. It's about the feelings. So it could be about, you know, not just be focused on, I never liked saying that, but don't just focus on how you feel currently and what you get out of this, whatever this is all about, the community or, you know, whatever, because you can feel a new kind of way if you try something different, you know, if you accept that what is no longer serving you needs to go, you know, you need to leave that behind. And the new feeling might be relief. The new feeling might be, the world didn't end. I'm not alone. I still have people and I find new people because I made better choices for myself. And I love that, you know, we have that with the pink because it's also the color of rose quartz, which is all about self-love as well. I love that, to be honest. This is the most, how I feel most emotionally relieved. I didn't really get an emotion during the other two pies, but I'm definitely in the feeling, which is always interesting. And let's pull two cards for an advice. We have independence, craving your own path. You know, you don't necessarily need other people. You might be someone who fears to be alone, and this could be an opportunity to learn that you actually are a kick-ass person when you're alone, because you can do more than you ever thought you could do. And we have the Four of Thread loom, boundaries, community, and responsibility. You know, you need to set clearer boundaries. You need to think about which community you want to believe in, or believe in. That's an interesting way, you know, Freudian slip. Believe in, I guess, belong to as well. And what are your responsibilities? Not just to the community, but to yourself, you know, with those choices. Create those boundaries for yourself and for others as well, because if you don't create boundaries, and you're not clear about your boundaries, guess what? Other people don't know how to respect them. They might do something, once, because they don't know that this is a boundary for you. But if you speak up clearly and kindly that, hey, this is not okay for me, and you listen to other people doing the same, you can create a better community that is more respectful toward each other, which is more accepting, and it's more helpful and supportive. So yeah, this one is a shorter one, I think, than the other ones, but the message was just bam bam bam, so much clearer. So I hope this is useful. I hope you find your community, and if you're part of this one, I hope you get out of this community what you need to, and you're not in it because you feel like you don't have any other choice, because that would make it a really sad thing. And I hope to see you in, you know, other videos. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Those all help my channel, and I hope this was useful. See you in the next one.